little brevity. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Let's hear ya. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. None of the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Good morning and welcome to Unity of Wimberley's live stream service. Just to get you oriented to time and place, this is Sunday, October 18th, 2020. This is also my parents' 67th wedding anniversary. So shout out to my mom and dad for all those years. As spiritual seekers, we travel the inward path to abundance and joy. We celebrate both the twists and the turns along the way. Thankfully, we walk this sacred journey alone and together. We claim our divine birthright, that the absolute goodness of God is our source of all things. And now, let's join Kit and Katie Marie with our welcome song.
Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me, everything that I need to do about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to be be strong about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me.
Good morning. Please join me as we affirm our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Today's daily word reading for Sunday, October 18th is steadfast, and the affirmation is, I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. No matter where I may be on my path, sometimes my spiritual life feels easy, and sometimes it feels hard. There are times I enjoy new insights, blissful clarity, and peace. Other times I may struggle, feeling stuck and directionless, or even lonely on my walk with God. At times like these, I renew my commitment to my spiritual path. Although my attention may have wandered, the divine presence within me has always remained steadfast, as near as my next thought. Wherever I am in space, time, or consciousness, I discover the love, strength, and wisdom of God expressing through me. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. Psalm 139, 9 through 10. And now, with our gathering prayer, Kit Holmes.
I invite you to take a deep breath with me this morning and get ourselves centered and grounded. Taking in the sound of this prayer bell. Bringing our focus and attention to that steadfastness, the infinite presence of Spirit. And what I know and affirm today is that presence that moves in and through and as us in every moment. We turn to it now consciously. We turn to that presence knowing we are in harmony with it. We are connected to it. It is in us, expressing as us. And it is a deep and abiding love. Whether we call it God, whether we call it Spirit, whether we call it the infinite intelligence, it does not matter, because we cannot define the undefinable, but we know it and we can feel it. We sense it and we can express it. So as we gather this morning with the words and the music and the message and the inspiration and the insight, I affirm that presence in each of us. And knowing that it is good, because it is God, I simply let it be. And so it is. to the well. Cool, clear water, it is calling you. Beggars, sinners, teachers, saints, come to the well. Joyful crowds or lonesome travelers, all along the road, come to the well, drink your fill. Come to the well and heal. Deep and sacred, wise and ancient, open your eyes. Elemental for survival, it will never run dry. Come to the well, drink your fill. Come to the well and heal. And heal. Come to the well, drink your fill. Come to the well and heal. And heal. And heal. And heal.
Thank you, ma'am. I wish I could say, oh gosh, that's my favorite of all your songs, but I have, like, all of your songs are favorite songs for me, but that one always touches me really deeply, and so thank you for that. So I have a question for you this morning. Do you have everything that you need and want today? Do you have everything that you need and want? in your relationships, in your finances, in your work, or your happy retirement? Do you have all the peace of mind that you want or need? Because if you can say yes to all of those things, and maybe even the things I didn't mention, if you have everything that you need and want in all those areas of your life, you're free to go ahead and just hit end, and you don't have to watch the rest of this, because this is for anyone who doesn't feel like they have everything that they need and want in their lives. So I'm just giving you the option. If you can answer yes, and you've got it made, and you can expect to transcend just any moment now, because you'll be done here. You will have learned everything you need to know. Today's talk is called Claiming Your Birthright. And so the first thing I want to do is blow some misconceptions out of the water. Most of us were brought up in this country, at least, in Christianity, even in Judaism. There is an idea that you're not supposed to want a whole lot while you're here. That you're supposed to do good things here, and when you do good things here, then you'll get rewarded because you get to go to heaven, and that's where all the good things are. And Unity was the first place that I ever heard that that's kind of backwards. The scripture that Jesus is said to have said about the kingdom of heaven being right here on earth is true. If we're going to have heaven, we can have it right now. We don't have to wait until after we're dead. And I really haven't I've talked to a few people who have gone beyond this life, but they're not sharing the great secret about exactly what it's like on that other side. And if they do, it's always different. So let's have heaven right here and now. And let's just bust all those misconceptions that we're supposed to suffer or sacrifice here so that we can get rewarded later. So especially if you're new to New Thought or new to Unity, you may not think that this is the right way to go, so I'm just going to kind of fill you in on how this works. Because our birthright is the kingdom of God. Our birthright is everything that we need and want right here, right now, through the abundance of spirit. I was introduced when I first came into Unity. First book I studied was Lessons in Truth by H. Emily Cady. Dr. Cady was an amazing woman who taught Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founders of Unity, and was part of a group of New Thought thinkers in the late 19th century who began to shift the way we think about God and the way we interact with the being or the presence that we know as God. And so she was the one that made sure that I understood, thank you, Dr. Cady, that I'm a divine heir to everything from God right here and now. And that was a phenomenal, mind-blowing idea. So what we are to do while we're here is to focus on this thing called substance. It's the unseen stuff from which everything comes to form. It is the whole realm of divine ideas. And we begin to shape that substance in conjunction with spirit by our thoughts, by the divine ideas that come through us, and we bring it into manifestation in the world. You see, we are the expression of the great infinite. We are that. And to be anything less than that, how dare we do that? That's what we're created for. That's why we're here. So this is an amazing way for us to live a different life, to live a new life. And before I get into the part about the stuff of divine substance and what we create, I just want to bring to our attention something that's going on in our world right now. We are 16 days away from our national election. Tensions are getting high. Feelings are getting big. I just want to remind all of us, and I see so many of you doing this, I want to remind all of us that now more than ever, we are called as our spiritual selves, yes, to hold to that which we believe to be true and right and good for all people. We have that responsibility to stand for good. But we cannot stand for good if we're hurting other people with our thoughts, words, and deeds. And so I see many of you posting on social media saying, it's all right for you to have your ideas and me to have my ideas, and we will love each other anyway. That's ideal. That's what we're striving for. So if you find yourself getting all stirred up, and do you know the energy, I keep wanting to put my book over here. I'll just put my book over here. The energy of persuasion, you know that energy that I'm talking about where you feel like you've got to be able to persuade somebody to your way of thinking? If you start to feel that, because it's got a special energy to it, that's not always the right energy to have. If you find yourself wanting to get your dukes up and persuade somebody that they're wrong and you're right, just stop and go to the well, take a breath, and just back up a little bit. Because as I have spoken of before, our spiritual selves don't shut off when we go to social media. It's not like we get to lead a spiritual life out here and we get to social media and we get out our knives and torches. That's not the way it works, my friends. If you are a spiritual seeker, or as Aida said today, and it's not an accident, a spiritual speaker. Speak your truth. Don't speak your ugly, because I've seen some ugly. So if you find yourself not able to restrain yourself from persuading somebody or fighting with them, back away from the Facebook. If you find yourself reading things on there and getting more and more stirred up, I have a hint for you. This is a magic trick. Don't look. Just don't look. Stop. Don't torture yourself that way. There is no reason for us to keep focusing on what we see in the train wreck of social media, because what we focus on is what we manifest. So if you keep going where the fight is, if you keep going where the ugly is, guess what you're going to experience in your life? Fights and ugliness. I haven't preached in a couple of weeks, so it's all coming out today, my friends. So, blow your hair back a little bit. But if I don't speak this to you, I'm pretending like, I'm acting as if I'm a prophet. And a prophet can be anyone who speaks the truth. You're a prophet. We're all prophets speaking the truth. Yesterday, I experienced the abundance of an interaction with a young man at Target. My son David needed a new phone because his had crashed, and they had a special deal, and so we went to Target to get his new cell phone, and I had run into this young man before, so nice, so knowledgeable, probably David's age as well, early 20s, very patient, managed to multitask without getting stirred up about anything. He asked me if I was a teacher or worked in emergency services or medical services, and I said, no, I'm not considered essential. So that was kind of weird to say that, because I think ministers are essential. We're just not considered essential in the money thing, I guess, for as far as the government is concerned at this time, and that's fine. I want to make sure, especially, that our teachers, our healthcare workers, and our emergency responders have everything that they need to keep them safe and supported through this time. Because I can tell you, talking with my colleagues and Kit, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Our fulfillment is also not only to receive our salaries, but also the gift of being able to do what we love to do with you. So I had an abundant conversation with this young man yesterday. And he started asking me about me being a minister and what it was like to go to school and what did I study. And this was just a casual interaction. If you saw my Facebook Live a little bit on Thursday, I talked about looking for angels everywhere. So yesterday, one of the angels in my life was Brian at Target. He's probably never going to see this, but I want you to know that there's an angel out there named Brian, and he touched me yesterday. And so I'm going to invite you, with your abundant heart, to keep looking for angels. And you see what I was talking about with social media is when we get stuck in that place of arguing and gnashing our teeth and biting our nails, pulling our hair, whatever, we don't have room for our hearts to be open to the goodness of God. Because we're using up all our energy with that other stuff. And what's required of us in order to experience heaven on earth is to open our hearts. So if you're sitting there right now, I want you to take your shoulders and bring them down and back and open your chest up so that your heart can expand, your lungs can expand. Because this kind of openness is what allows us to receive the goodness of God in so many ways. In our relationships, in our money, in our health, in our peace of mind. Everything requires us to be open and receptive and to be focused upon shaping substance, that divine stuff, into good. I want to read to you what Charles Fillmore said about prosperity. And you know that we have a Wednesday night class going on right now that's being facilitated by Jen Jaime and Kit. And it's about Jen's book called Money Does Grow on Trees. So it's not only about how to be responsible with your money and your finances and your planning, but also about how to practice the principles of prosperity. This is from the Revealing Word, which is kind of the dictionary of Fillmoreisms. The consciousness of God is the abundant, everywhere present resource, unfailing, ready for all who open themselves to it through faith. And from Psalm 34, they that seek Jehovah shall not want for any good thing. Prosperity is based on the conscious possession of the idea of God's abundance back of all things. Things come and go, but the idea of abundance endures. Things appear at its command. Jesus had no visible possessions, but he could supply thousands of persons with food through praising and giving thanks to the invisible spirit of plenty. So you remember the story of the loaves and the fishes. There's one example. I'll give you another one in just a second. The difference between spiritual prosperity and material prosperity is that spiritual prosperity is founded on understanding of the inexhaustible, omnipresent substance of spirit as the source of supply. Folks, this is good, old-fashioned, down-to-earth truth teaching. The material belief is that the possession of things constitutes prosperity. So if you got a lot of stuff, you got a lot of money, and you think you're prosperous, but your soul is dead, you're not prosperous. You just got a lot of things. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Not later, now. That's from Matthew 6, Sermon on the Mount. In demonstrating prosperity, you should praise and give thanks for every little evidence of financial improvement. Be confident of the immediate cooperation of God's Spirit with you in bringing to pass that for which you have given thanks. In other words, we're giving thanks even before the thing appears. The divine resource never fails. God is the omnipresent, unfailing resource for all who trust him, her, it, and who make all their thoughts chord, C-H-O-R-D, with divine mind. God is your prosperity. Stamp this thought daily on your mind and you will reap financial success, and I would add all the other successes that you desire. Giving in the right mental attitude creates prosperity. Giving with the fear of lack leads to poverty. I'm going to read those two again. This is what we talk about every Sunday when we have our offering blessing. Giving in the right mental attitude creates prosperity. Giving with the fear of lack leads to poverty. It's all about where you focus. Giving with the thought of a large resource opens the way for a large income. And from Luke 6, one of my favorite passages, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Man, I love that. And my friends, I just want to remind you that the idea of prosperity was demonstrated by Jesus in all of his teachings. He never lacked for anything as he walked about in those 3 years teaching people. And there was one time he was out on the boat with the disciples. And you see, the disciples, when we hear these stories, the disciples are us. We should have a little sign that says, disciples are us. That would be so clever, wouldn't it? Well, I think it's clever. You may not agree with me there. And they were complaining because they kept throwing their nets in and no fish. They kept throwing their nets in and no fish. And Jesus said, cast your nets on the other side. So they threw their nets in and plenty of fish, plenty of fish, plenty of fish. Now, this story is not to show us that Jesus was some kind of fish whisperer. Say that one, fish whisperer. He was saying, change your focus. If you're doing something one way and it's not getting the results that you want, change your mind upon abundance. You'll have all that you need. That's the other side of the boat. If you're looking for love in all the wrong places, you might try shifting your focus. Change the places you're looking for love, or even better, give thanks for the love that's coming to you, even before you see it, and let love find you. Let love find you, because it will. But it requires that we are loving people. It requires that we are grateful people. It requires that we keep our mind focused on God. Marianne Williamson, she made an early run for the Democratic nomination, and Marianne Williamson has wonderful ideas. She has had for many, many years. I don't think our country's ready for somebody who speaks that kind of truth yet. I don't think we've quite evolved to that, but we will, and we are. So let me just share with you, we're going to have a prayer right here in the middle of the talk. We're going to pray a lot this morning, so put on your prayer hat. This little book called Illuminata, A Return to Prayer, was written by Marianne Williamson back in 1994. So that's how far ahead of things she was. So just take an attitude of prayer for just a moment. We're going to dip into prayer and then we're going to come back out. Dear God, I surrender to you my wealth. I surrender to you my debts. Whatever fear I have about money, please remove this fear from my mind. Whether I believe that money is scarce or money is too important or money is bad or money is unspiritual, whatever my ideas are that block me, and you know what they are. Dear Lord, please help me. I wish to have whatever abundance you see fit for me. I want money to flow freely into me and through me so that it might bless my life and the lives of others. I surrender to you now any judgments I might have on those who have wealth. And I would add on those who have not wealth. I do not wish to judge, for I know my judgment holds back my own abundance. Whatever lack of integrity I might have shown, if I am indebted or have violated anyone else, please wash me clean and heal my mind. I make amends to you and to this person in my heart. Please show me what behavior you would have me follow, Lord, that I might begin again. Please place within my mind the attitudes toward money that you would have me hold. I give up my own interpretations, and I ask for yours. Whatever money comes to me, may it be used to serve you. Thank you very much. Amen. Wow. That's a powerful prayer. And her prayers have us speaking directly to God, as though God were right next to us. Because God is right next to us, within us, around us, there is no place that God is not. So speaking to Spirit as a companion is our way to the truth, always, always. I'm so grateful for her prayers. I've used them for years, since 1994, actually. I'll go back to that beginning idea. Frugality and poverty were cherished in the past because it was believed that material things distracted from our being able to pay attention to God. But attachment, then and now, is the problem, not the goods themselves. It's our attachment to things. Jesus preached about bounty all the time, all the time, all the time. He said, don't worry. Share what you've got. Believe in me and my Father God. Cast your nets on the other side. Change your way of being and doing. That's what he said. And I want to go all the way back. I want to go all the way back to the Old Testament when Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt. And they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. Now, I want you to remember that every story in the Old Testament is there to answer a question or teach a lesson. It doesn't matter whether you believe it actually happened or not. I remember my Bible teacher telling us that if you look at the scripture closely enough and see where they were wandering before they got to Canaan, the promised land, it was an area about the size of Wimberley. So it's not about time, it's not about space, it's about the lesson. It's about preparing ourselves for our greater good. That's what the lessons in the children, in all of Genesis and Exodus, those lessons are about us getting our minds in the right place. And so there was this substance. The people were saying, what are we going to eat? What are we going to eat? Which you'll probably be saying in about 30 minutes. What are we going to eat? And what are we going to drink? And how are we going to be taken care of? And Moses kept saying, God told me all our needs would be met. You have to trust that. You must trust that over and over and over again. So what happened was, you've heard that phrase, manna from heaven. I wonder what that meant. There's a lot of different interpretations of what manna might have been physically, but it was something indigenous to that region that was edible, but it was perishable. So they couldn't gather up a bunch of the manna and save it for the days ahead. They had to gather it up, eat it, or make it into bread, and then it was gone for the day. And the next day, there would be a new growth of manna. And so every day, they had to trust that the manna would be there to feed them. I love that story. I love the meaning of that lesson. Every day, trust that what you need and what is coming to you is already in place. And I like to use this affirmation even now. Events and circumstances are arranging themselves for the good of you and for the greater good. Even now, that which you seek, that which you think you want, it's already coming into manifestation, and we give thanks for it. And here's the fun part, beloved. Sometimes what you think you want and need, God's got something better in store. And we have to be open to that as well. We have to be open to the not yet. We have to be open to not that. We have to be open to, beloved, there is something you must learn before this can come to you. So here's your lesson. Learn it. And so we have to trust through all of this. This calls upon our faith. This calls upon our ability to address and name our fears and begin to put them to rest and replace them with the truth. And if you don't know how to do that, I invite you to go to Amazon and look for the book Lessons in Truth and read it. Read that 120, 30-year-old book and find some truths that are there for you. Read the Sermon on the Mount, starting with Matthew 5. Look for all the affirmative statements that Jesus makes. Blessed are, blessed are, blessed are. We're all hungry for lunch? Let's see what we can put together. More than enough for a huge crowd of people and food left over. And so we start looking for places where our good is. We start affirming that God is taking care of everything that we need. Everything. Our good is already coming into manifestation, so give thanks. Give thanks. And so that's why I talk about the idea of social media. I send out a caution to you that in the next couple of weeks, you keep your heart open and generous. Do not let yourself be contracted by conflict and disagreement and ugliness and the struggle to be right, because that closes down your heart. You can feel it. You can feel it physically. As we move into our meditation, I'd like to share with you another prayer from Mary Ann. And this is actually not in the chapter about prosperity. This is in the 2 chapters that we have about hatred and healing in America. She was writing about it all those years ago. So I invite you to just settle yourself wherever you are. If you're doing something physical right now, be focused upon that which is in your heart, even as your hands might continue to do what they're doing. And again, the conversation, beginning with, "Dear God." Do you ever think of Spirit as dear, as your beloved? Beloved God, please remove from my mind the tendency to judge. Please remove from my mind the tendency to hate. Please remove from my mind the tendency to blame. Please reveal to me, Lord, a way to stand in my power through love instead of fear and through peace instead of violence. May I hear not the voice for anger, but only the voice for love. And teach me, dear Lord, how not to hate those who hate me. Transform all darkness into light, dear God, and use my mind as an instrument of your harmlessness. I surrender to you my thoughts of violence. Take these thoughts, Lord, and wash them clean. Thank you very much. And she says, Amen. And so, dear heart, whatever might have your heart be heavy today, if you have done or have done upon you violence of words, thoughts, or deeds, let it wash away now. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Because only then are we open to the generous, never-failing abundance of God. Let not your heart be troubled. Rather, let it be filled with peace. And that switch can be just like that. In the blink of an eye, in the next breath, your heart can move from closed to open. Your mind can move from fear to faith. Your whole being can move from sorrow to joy, knowing that both exist in this world for us to carry, but not to be burdened by. So, beloved, whatever it is in your heart today that you think that you lack, whatever has been missing for you, wherever the dry desert is in your life, say these words in your heart: I trust, I believe, I receive. I trust, I believe, and I receive. Oh, beloved, there is goodness everywhere. There are quiet angels and noisy angels all around us. to remind us that we are not alone, that we are blessed and we are a blessing. Sometimes we move through different places in our lives, in and out of relationships, in and out of public spaces, and sometimes we're there because a being of light is to touch us, and sometimes we are the light that comes to bring it to the darkness. I'm going to open my eyes now and connect with you here, because so much I miss you. And yet we've experienced the abundance of love in spite of our separation from each other physically. We've shared each other's lives, our joys and our sorrows. We've shared with each other through music and words and photos and phone calls and emails and texts. And beloved, don't you wish for everyone what you wish for yourself? A peaceful heart and an abundant life. Expand yourself so that it encompasses more and more and more of humanity on this planet, so that it encompasses taking care of this planet upon which we live together. So especially that it blesses our children, for whom even now we're creating an inheritance for them. It is a precious thing that we must leave to them. Beloved, you are blessed. Open your heart and receive. For all is well. All is good. And you're doing just fine. And so it is. Amen.
Open to our good. We are open to our good. As we give, so we receive. Much as we believe, we are open to our good. Love is everywhere around us, moving in and through us. Every moment, every day, so much love along the way. We are open to our good. We are open to our good. As we give, so we receive. As much as we believe, open to our good. Joy is everywhere around us, moving in and through us. Every moment, every day, so much joy along the way. We are open to our good. We are open to our good. As we give, so we receive. As much as we believe, we are open to our good, open to our good, open to our good.
As part of our prosperity consciousness, we continue to give where we are spiritually nourished and inspired. We are grateful for the gifts you've sent in already, and we affirm the gifts that you are sending now. We know that Spirit is working through us to support all that is needed for our community and beyond. Beloved, as you know, we are going through times that are difficult for many nonprofit organizations, for churches, for organizations that take care of people who do not have everything that they need to take care of their families. And so it's our pleasure, because you give to us, as you continue to support us, we're able to then support the community. And I have here thank you notes from Barnabas in Wimberley, from Amigos de Jesus Ministry, from the Crisis Breadbasket. So we are continuing to give so that those who are not able to work right now, those who are have too much of a financial burden, have the resources available to them through the community. And so there are 4 ways that you can give here. Text GIVE to the number that's on the screen. Click the donate button on our website. Mail a check to 455 White Wings Road, Wimberley, Texas, 78676, and tap Give on our church app. Those are the ways that you can do this easily and abundantly. And before we offer our affirmation of abundance, I have to make a public apology, because the last time that I was here in the pulpit, we did the affirmation of abundance, and I skipped right over the offertory song that Kit had prepared. It was her first time live back in the sanctuary here, and I just breezed right on past it. So today we're going to have our affirmation of abundance, and then I have it in big letters on my script here. Thank you so much. Can you get that, Ryan? It just says offertory song, Kit Holmes, so that I don't skip it this time. Because I wondered what the staff and our tech crew was like. Oh my God, what's going on now? It's because I totally skipped the music. So mea culpa. And do you want to play 2 today, or okay? No, I'm just checking. Okay, so together, let's offer our affirmation of abundance. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you, Reverend Jill.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay awake and pay attention. Hold your thoughts in suspension. Do you know you're already free? Give and take, flow and tension, yin and yang, soul's extension. Do you know already free. It's who you are. The good life is waiting on you. You're already free. The door's ajar. Are you gonna walk through? Here's your break. Defy convention. Trust your heart's comprehension, 'cause it knows you're already free. What's at stake? Your good intentions. It's your choice. And did I mention you are already free? You're already free. It's who you are. The good life is waiting on you. You're already free. The door's ajar. Are you gonna walk through?
So, if you were with us in the first major part of the service, we had a power surge here at the church in the middle of Kit's offertory song, which I was so happy she was playing today. And so we're just going to give you the end of the service now in case you tune back in. It was a very strange thing that happened, and it just goes to show you that what we're doing now in the way we bring our service to you has a lot of little things that can go wrong or right. So here we are. So here at the end of our service, in honor of our first wildlife management, our first wildlife management manager, Susan Drews, there is now a new tree located in the Serenity Garden. This desert willow is small now, but it will grow and it will become a lovely tree in the years to come. Thank you, Susan, from our bottom of our hearts for all your dedication to our land. And thank you to our wildlife work team that met Saturday morning, yesterday, to tend to our hillside. Thank you, Tommy Potts, Richard Newsom, Nick Giovacchini, and Xander Vaughn. This week is class number 3 of our October Wednesday night series with Money Does Grow on Trees, 12 Steps to Increase Your Income. This past Wednesday, we discussed unconscious auto spending, celebrating the small wins with gratitude, and negotiating purchases, knowing our high and low limits ahead of time. Next week, this coming Wednesday, we will cover chapters 6, 7, and 8. The Unity Zoom yoga class starts Saturday, October 31st, yay, Halloween Day, at 10 a.m. with Jan McGowan. Jan has taught for 50 years and integrates her quartz crystal bowls with hatha yoga movements for balancing chakras and welcoming in deep states of clarity and feelings of well-being. If you haven't ever done this with Jan, it is remarkable. So, listen to this. The cost of the class is a love offering that benefits Unity of Wimberley. This is Jan's gift. How's that for a win-win? Tune in to Facebook Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. as Kit and I share readings, meditations, and affirmations. We started our Feed My People program last year or the year before by bringing food to the church. And now we invite you to support that program by sending your donations directly to the Crisis Bread Basket at P.O. Box 1721, Wimberley 78676. Please email your questions, concerns, or prayer requests to either Kit or me or both of us at minister@unityofwimberley.com and asl@unityofwimberley.com. And so now let us join together in our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Woo-hoo. There was a time in my life, thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't think the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you're discouraged, trying just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you got to say: I release, I let go. I'll let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I